Our next speaker is AJ Saframuto, CEO of Cherish Metals.
Thank you, Peter, for giving us the opportunity to present today the Cherish Metals story. And thank you, everyone, for coming in and listening to our Cherish Metals ongoing story. The normal disclaimer, you can read that in your own time. In today's presentation, I really want to take you through three main areas. Firstly, who's Cherish Metals? What have we accomplished? And how have we accomplished it? And what is our plan for the future? So who is Cherish Metals? Cherish Metals is a 100% private organisation owned by Tembo Capital out of the UK. We own the Lanfranchi mine in the #1 nickel district in the world, I would say, which is Kambalda. We have our neighbours there, which is Foster Jan, Wyloo, Widgie Nickel, and then the Beta Hunt mine that Karora own. There's also Nova Nickel to the south of us. Currently, we have a resource of nearly 105,000 nickel tonnes. We have multiple new discoveries that I'll take you through, including Wilson, Ashby, and the Lincoln Zone. We have resource extensions. As of yesterday, we announced Lower Lanfranchi, nearly 200 metres down plunge from current development, the Deacon, and the high-grade Lower Schmitz Zone. The mine is in a ready start state. We've mined nearly $1 billion worth of nickel from this mine over 40 years. All approvals are in place. It's fully dewatered and ventilated all the way down to the bottom of the declines. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the leadership team because we have a small team. We wear a number of different hats. But you'll see a number of results that come up later in the presentation, and it's really because of this team and the site team that we can deliver these results. So on our board, we have Tim Dudley, who's here today, on the board of a number of ASX-listed companies. He represents Tembo, and he's a mining engineer. About 6 months ago, we had Jamie Wright join the board as well. Jamie, again, has been on a number of different companies and been involved with a number of different ASX companies and has come on board to focus our direction and strategy. Myself, I've been involved in a number of Kambalda-related projects. I was at BHP Nickel West, worked there, and then started a small company called Salt Lake Mining. Salt Lake Mining bought the Beta Hunt mine from Cons Min. We then value-added, brought it into production, and sold it to Karora Resources. There are a number of similarities between the Beta Hunt and the Lanfranchi mine, and I'm excited today to tell you the Lanfranchi story. Also, Peter Wade, he's a manager mining, looks after the site operations as well as all the value-added studies. Pete, again, is a mining engineer and has been with this project since we purchased it from Panoramic Resources. We have Brad Robinson, he's a manager geology. When we went down the strategic path of exploration, we headhunted Brad. He was the site manager for Panoramic Resources for 6 years as geology manager on site. We headhunted Brad and brought him back from Victoria. He had unfinished business here at Lanfranchi. And finally, we have Alan Cumming, who looks after mining and governance. You'll see in one of the upcoming slides, we have increased our resources at 23 cents per pound of nickel, and that's because Alan holds the purse strings pretty tightly. The Lanfranchi mine, I've got a number of points up there, but as I said, 45 kilometres from the concentrator, 51 square kilometres of tenure. It's an established mine. There's a paste plant, portal, a lot of accommodation, 144 rooms, and the geology resource keeps increasing. There's also a huge exploration potential. We've only, on the southern part of the dome, we have nearly 12 deposits that we've identified. We think it's a basalt dome that is replicated in the north. So we've gone ahead and done a lot of soils and EM surveys on the north, and then we'll start a surface program in the northern areas. Also to the east, we have the Crookshank and Gigantus deposit, nearly 40,000 nickel tonnes there. We think it might be one deposit, so we've got some more exploration drilling to go there. In terms of corporate values, you see our key values are safety, accountability, value add, and ethics and integrity. We also have a close relationship with our First Nations Naju and also our Kambalda contractors. The miners said WMC first started mining it and then Panoramic. Nearly 200,000 nickel tons have come out of there at 2.8%. Very low in arsenic, nearly 20 parts per million when the penalty thresholds are about 400 parts per million. Also excellent iron MgO ratios. You see in the pictures there's a portal, paste plant, operating village that is currently rented out, and a workshop. So it's easy for me to stand up here and say we have everything on site, but the team has put together a 60-second video to show you what Lanfranchi looks like at the moment.
The Lanfranchi mine has a rich 40-year history where Western Mining and Panoramic Resources mined over 200 kilotons of nickel, or nickel worth of $1 billion Australian dollars. The mine is in a Tier 1 jurisdiction, the Kambalda region, where there are other nickel mines that supply the BHP Kambalda concentrator. The mine is well established and has a portal, paste plant, ROM pads, ventilation fans, camp accommodation and over 40 kilometres of underground development completed. This development gives us access to the underground to complete our EM loops and help with targeting our resources. To date, in just over 8 months of drilling with 2 drill rigs, we have found 3 new channels and significantly increased the resources and mineral inventory of the mine. We continue to set up new loops and continue to target new channels in the quest to find more resources at the mine and on our tenements. We also progress all the mining studies to ensure the mine is kept in a ready state for commencement.
So the second part of the presentation is what have we accomplished and how have we accomplished this? These are our drill results we've had over the last 12 months. The lower Lanfranchi, you can see there, 30.8 metres at 3.75%, 32.8 metres at 4.14%, all the way up to 8 metres at 9%, and most recently, as of yesterday, we announced 10.6 metres at 12.21%. This is as good as it gets in nickel country. So some excellent results there. What we're seeing is that Lanfranchi, true width of 4 to 6 metres is now looking like 7 to 9 metres, and the tenor has increased at depth, so some excellent results there. We've also found the Lincoln deposit, wider than Lanfranchi, but lower in grade. We're searching for the high-grade core of that. It's open up plunge and down plunge. We've also hit the Wilson deposit. It's sitting on a fault offset from the lower Schmitz, which is a 5% ore body. We've got more drilling to go in there to figure out whether it's a fault offset to lower Schmitz or whether it's a channel by itself. And we've also hit the Ashby deposit right next to Lanfranchi, which we had 4 metres at 1.57%. So if we look at a long section, the pink are the new channels that we've found, the Ashby, the Lincoln, the Wilson. You can see the blue is the extensions that we've had, the lower Lanfranchi, the lower Schmitz, and the Deacon. You can see all the development in place. The yellow is the upcoming targets of Woolley and East Deacon. You can also see there in yellow the EM loops we've put in. This is how we've found these targets and got these really good drill hits. We started off with the one loop. It cost us a lot of money to join up the development to have an underground loop. And now we've got 4 loops in place. So how do these loops work? Typically what they do, normally what you do is you have a surface loop, you put a hole in the footwall basalt, and then you do an EM survey. This is great when it's shallow, but the deeper you go, the area of influence, as you see in the yellow there, is decreased. What we've done is we've gone ahead and we've put an underground loop as close as possible to the holes that have been drilled for EM. This gives you an area of influence that is much larger, that you can see in the yellow there. So what's our team done over the last 12 months? We've had 0 reportable incidents, nearly 65% local employment. We've drilled nearly 35,000 underground metres, nearly 1.7 kilometres of surface drilling, mainly on EM targets. We've done nearly 10,000 EM surveys in the mine. This has all led to a resource increase of 33% or 26,000 nickel tonnes as of March this year. That is all at a cost of 23 cents per pound. So organic growth, today's nickel price is about $8.50. We've got it at 23 cents a pound. We've completed nearly 80% of our soils on the property. We've finished a life of mine concept study for a mine plan, and now we are investigating the option of an owner-operated plant where we have a plant on site that is our own, not BHP's. So the final part of my presentation is, what is our plan for the future? We have an exploration strategy that works. We have a formula to unlock these nickel deposits. It is, we've identified the potential channels. We install the underground loops as close as possible to these channels. We drill the EM hole in footwall basalt because it is better ground. We do the EM survey, we identify the EM target, and then we drill the EM target. And if the results are good, then we resource drill that channel. This is our exploration pipeline. The first part of it is the conceptual targets that our geos put on the board, where they think there's fertile ground and fertile channels. We then go through the EM drilling, exploration, and resource definition. What we're trying to do is move the conceptual targets to the resource definition phase. As I mentioned before, we finished the concept study. What we did here was we ran nearly 127 different scenarios in the 12 deposits we have. We had different scenarios on starting the projects early, finishing late, low case capex, high case capex, low grade, high grade, all the different levers that we have, low payability, high payability, different recoveries, and we came up with a preferred case. We put that to our board, and the results were exciting, so now we've moved into a PFS level development study, which we've got an independent consultant completing. So planning for development, we have the concept study completed. We've finished the PFS, we are completing the PFS level development study, and now we're looking at the strategic option of the KNC concentrator, or we build our own plant. We're building momentum. We're drilling at the moment with 2 rigs underground with web drill. We have another surface program planned in the new year. We're going through a met test work program where we're testing the Crookshank ore to bring it into the life of mine study, but we're also doing more met test work on our own plant. There will be a resource upgrade, and then we'll finish off the development study and the owner-operated plant study. Cherish Metals, it's poised for growth. Why? We've got an advanced project in Kambalda. We have rapid mineral growth, and we've unlocked the formula for finding nickel channels. We have a production-ready asset with low capex, and we have a team that can deliver this. Thank you for your time. We're in booth 27 if you've got any questions.